Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum. Straight talk about you and your money. Now from the BizTalk studios, here is Gary Kaltbaum.
And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. Friday, February 9th, 2024. Hope you're having a good day. I got to shut off my alarm. Hope you're having a good weekend. For a good weekend. If you are a KC fan, good luck. If you're a San Fran, good luck. I'm just letting you know, I'm taking San Fran, minus the points. A tough game to handicap. I just see too many people liking KC. I'm a big believer that gamblers lose, and when too many go one way. And what's weird is I would have suspected the line would have come down. I think San Fran's 2.5. I would have thought maybe it would have been 1, basically because everybody loves KC. But that just may be the Taylor Swift effect. All I know is I'm going with San Fran. Minor league bet on that one. And that's that. There's your Super Bowl pick. Hey, this is serious talk on everything that affects you and your money and the markets, the economy, and jobs, unemployment, taxes, debt, spending, scams, shams, corruption, and press conferences. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our Twitter feed, which is now X. Go to X, put our name in, and follow us. You probably should. And if you want to email me, just be nice. And I just want to start off with something. We don't have to really prove ourselves. I just want to let you know, we will never compromise here. We will never BS here. We will always tell you the truth. And I'm bringing it up because there is one wimp out there that I've been getting more than one email from, and I'm going to address this wimp. And I call wimp because refuses to use his own email address, show who he is, and it's a he. You can pretty much tell it's a he. He's a wimp. Probably one of these people that sits on his couch eating Cheetos off his chest. So I just want to let you know, sends emails calling me a liar. And that's all well and good. You can't please everybody. But calling me a liar and suggesting what I tell you about certain things is not true. And that's all well and good. Again, everybody can't be a fan. But he claims that Gary never bought NVIDIA, but he ain't telling anyone this fact, quote unquote, from this person. And then he compares me to some of the big liars on Wall Street. So this is what we have to say to this wimp that refuses to show themselves. I'll give you, trying to come up with a good number, 25-1 odds. My 100 grand to your 4 grand. That way at least you're going to have to put up some money. And you have to put it up. And I'll give that 4 grand to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida. You got that? Come out of your closet, Mr. Wimp, and we'll show you. We want you to give 4 grand to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida. And that's the end of all that. At the end, he says, either prove your entry and exit prices of your trades or 4 letters, and I can't really say what those letters were. So, first show yourself, put up your money, I'll put up mine, and then we'll prove it to you, and then we'll shut your ass up. Anyway, I just had to start with that. And it's really just one. But it really allows me to take a step back and state to each and every one of you, we know there is something called trust. We know we're on radio. We know we appear on TV. We will never, ever, 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 ever do anything that takes away that trust. We will never, ever, ever, ever tell you something that is not the truth. Just letting each and every, and we don't have to defend ourselves, but we thought maybe we can get $4,000 for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida today, which we won't be able to because this guy's a wimp. But we just want to let you know who we are. And we do that because, yeah, we do know there's some characters on Wall Street. We know that. You know that. We're not one of them. We are straight out, up front, to the point. And again, we will never, ever tell you something with BS. That's all. Now, on to the press conference. What a press conference last night. No, I'm not talking about Joe Biden. I'm talking about the WWE. Did you watch the WrestleMania press conference? I am thrilled. Just so you know what professional wrestling is. A, it's great athletes, putting their lives and their health and their bodies on the line, but it's a soap opera too. And the ability to write great stories and give you swerves is what I love the most. And whoever's doing the writing in the WWE right now should get a medal. It is Triple H, Paul Levesque. Anyway, it was a blast. I love what they're doing with The Rock. They're turning him heelish for now. And they may have had to do a little pivot because of all the reactions on some of the decisions they made, but who gives a crap? But if they plan this whole thing out, and by the way, you got to know professional wrestling, God bless them. And in case you don't know, before it was mainstream, I used to go to the matches in the mid to late 70s to watch Dusty Rhodes against the Bad Guy at Miami Beach Convention Center every Wednesday. He was my idol at the time. I used to come off my parents' dresser and do the bionic elbow onto the bed when I was in my teens. And I've been going to professional wrestling matches since. I used to get made fun of. Nobody makes fun of me anymore because it's so darn mainstream. And what a great press conference. Now we have to talk about the morbid press conference, and that was Joe Biden. So he's being raked over the coals by both sides of the aisle, by the way. And you know it's a problem when the lefty channels have to talk about it. And there was one doofus that said, no, he's not, maybe he's old, but he rides a bicycle. So we're not going to make fun of Joe Biden. And the reason is, we're not doctors. We can only do this from afar. And we're not thrilled with doctors that come on TV and start diagnosing the guy, but have to say first, well, we have not met with him, but go screw. But I must tell you, when I was a kid, my grandparents lived with us, and they went downhill. One of them very fast. And it was dementia, it was the gait, the slowdown, the forgetfulness, and the like. He's showing all the signs of the slowdown. He is in no way, shape, or form what happened to my grandparents. No way, shape, or form. But leave no doubt, it's there. And I must tell you, I actually feel terrible for this man in that I'm empathetic for this man in that what a decision he's going to have to make soon. And what I mean by that is he's the president of the United States. Hate him, love him, be in between. Every move is watched. Every word out of his mouth is paid attention to. I feel terrible that he's going through this in front of the world. And leave no doubt, he's showing it. And my question to him, and he doesn't give a crap what I think, do you really think you're going to be able to go 5 more years? Interesting question, huh? Interesting question. And they're doing the right thing by him. I don't know if you know this. He's never around. During the day, they shut down. He's hardly talks. No press conferences, nothing. And last night they brought him out late at night. I don't know whose decision that was, but it did not go very well. And all I know is, if I was him, I'd be thinking long and hard, do I want to put myself out there going forward? I'm trying to do this in a human way, not the political way. On the political side, you know I can't stand him. I believe he's a control freak Marxist, and I believe his family's corrupt. But up next, we'll put a bow tie on it, and then we got lots to talk about in the markets. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
Hi, I'm Gary Kaltbaum, host of the nationally syndicated radio show Investor's Edge. We're not just handsome radio people. We manage investors' money for a living, specializing in fee-based discretionary money management. No big commissions, just a fee on the assets that's managed. We also provide a full range of personalized services, including retirement planning, fixed income, and educational needs, all to assist you in achieving your financial goals. Understanding not all individuals have the same needs, we'll carefully evaluate your personal goals to determine a proper investment strategy. If your current approach to investing is not getting you to where you would like to be, call us to make an appointment for a complimentary portfolio review. The number to call is 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. Investment advisory services offered through Kaltbaum Capital Management.
It's time to switch on the integrator units and get the brain cells working.
You're listening to
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Investor's Edge
The last bastion of quality programming.
with Gary Kaltbaum.
It doesn't get better than this.
So, let's go to the other part that affects you and I. In case you don't know, the president was out defending himself. The special counsel, or whoever did it, came out and said no charges in Joe Biden's document case. Now, this is what I mean by not even a two-tier justice system. I think it's like a four-tier. Amazingly, they said that Joe Biden is guilty, that willfully and intentionally took documents. That is a crime. Whether it's a crime of jail or I'm just saying it's a crime. Amazingly, they said the reason why they are not charging him is because they believe Joe Biden is too old and his faculties have dropped, and he would be a sympathetic figure if something like this went to trial. Gary, your handsome and buffed host, says and questions, what the hell bullcrap is that? Now, as you know, I do believe, if true, what they found Trump doing was obstruction of justice, where they hid it, wouldn't give it, try to move it. That's what they're going after Trump for. Joe Biden, when caught, gave everything up, did I think a 5-hour, 6-hour sit down with them, and they're claiming that, hey, that's the main difference. But bottom line, they said he committed a crime. Nothing done. See ya. And amazingly and stupidly, Biden's out there saying, see, told you so. And the big defense now from the administration is, we can't believe they said so many things about him being old and this and that and this and that. They should be happy they said that. Anyway, we are living in the weirdest times right now because the people running this country on both sides of the aisle suck. $34 trillion of debt tells you so. Crappy foreign policy tells you so. Giveaways tell you so. Handouts tells you so. Lying tells you so. From all sides. All sides. And as I've said to you, and I mean it, watching Biden and Trump is like voting for the Ebola virus versus the bubonic plague this coming November. And I mean that. But you know what I hear on Trump? Oh, but his policies. Yeah, good. Put me in as president, I'll put in the good policies, and I won't give you all the other crap. Anyway, we just wanted to start with that. We wanted to start with the wimp, then the WWE press conference, and then, that was, I gather, I don't know if Saturday Night Live is on this weekend, but that's your cold open for Saturday Night Live, ladies and gentlemen. And that's a shame. We wish no bad on anyone except Hamas and any other terrorist or anybody who kisses the you-know-whats of these terrorists. So, just letting you know. We move to the markets. The Dow was down 54 today. Pay no attention. Supermicro up 42, Nvidia up 25. MonGB up 25, HubSpot 17, Snowflake 10, CyberArk 19, Lam Research 47, KLA 10 Core 31, Applied Materials 12, ASM Lithography 27. The crypto we told you broke out 2 days ago, up another few percent with the secondary names up in fuego. Ladies and gentlemen, this remains, the better part is tech, internet, software, semiconductors, artificial intelligence. There are other areas working, but pale in comparison. Let's go to the Nvidia, which we so perfectly highlighted for you at 505. It broke out on January 8th. It's February 9th. It's gone from $505 to $721. We still have our original position. Supermicro, which we did not play because it moved too quick, even better. Supermicro on earnings on January 19th broke out at $358 early that morning. $740 at the close. We're not making this up. One of the most outlier moves we have seen in many a moon. Microsoft, a slow boat. We told you about it at 380. 420 in 4 weeks and change. We told you the last thing we did was Amazon. Gapped up, sat for a few days. That was up almost 5 today. Facebook, Meta, we gave you that one on a silver platter. 350 our entry. 468 in 5-6 weeks. We haven't seen this in a very long time. And I must tell you, full and fair disclosure, we've had a real good year in a month. I can't begin to tell you how PO'd I am of some I left off the table. Meaning, saw them, didn't play. Supermicro was the first one, but that was real tough from the get-go. but still could have tippy-toed in an extended way. Oh, Broadcom, 1178. It's 1283. That's just another one. AMD, a double-digit gain. That was like in short order. By the way, Broadcom was 100 points in 5 days. And it looks like it's going to break out again. Now the equipment makers that have terrible or no growth, all this talk about new chips. Lam Research today finishes at new yearly highs. Goes from 900 to 820 in 4 days, back to 911 in 7 days. Applied Materials reports next week, new yearly high. KLA-10 Core, almost. Up next. We'll continue along these lines. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
Listening to
America is talking.
Investor's Edge.
He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here. He's a Cinderella boy.
With Gary Kaltbaum.
Comes highly recommended. You're going to feel better if you talk to him.
So, and then there's these insane earnings reactions. ARM Holdings yesterday. Holy crap. Today, NET, up 17 to 107, juicing some of the software stocks again today. We have to tell you the Russell 2000 looks ready. Maybe. It's teased before. But I'm going to give you a couple numbers on the Russell. 2011 and 2072. Get through 2012 and 2072. Get through them, and there goes the small caps joining the big caps to a certain extent. You can look at the IWM. You'll see what we're seeing. The IWM would be right around here, and then 205.50. A move above. That's an ETF, by the way. And then the small caps join on board. So I'm thinking about what you would want to know about what we're seeing here. First off, stretched, extended, overbought, momentum, 1999-ish, all kinds of thoughts, emails I'm getting from people. Let me just state how I feel. Some of these moves are just plain old outlier. Out of the norm. There is a normality to markets. There is a certain ebb and flow to markets. Every now and then, we get ebb and ebb and ebb and ebb and flow and flow and flow. Sometimes you get moonshots. We're getting some vertical moonshots. And we get asked, how does that happen? Nobody's selling and a voraciousness to own the stock. And what we'll be looking for is what we call climactic moves. And in case you don't know what a climactic move means, it's the end of a move. And what it typically looks like. Where's the Space Needle? Is that Seattle? The Space Needle. I think it's Seattle. I'm Googling it right now. Space Needle. Seattle. Kind of sort of looks like that. Eiffel Tower. Kind of sort of looks like that. And you will see a day, the biggest one day up after a move that reverses on that day. That'll be the top. And then it'll have to big time reset. And by the way, that'll be the top for now. Doesn't mean it can't get going. but I don't see any sign of it. More strength today in tech, in semiconductors, in software, in artificial intelligence. And that doesn't mean there aren't other areas. There's some good action in some restaurants. Chipotle with their great reaction. There's some good reaction in select financials, in construction, crypto. What a 2-day move in these. The Bitcoin's only up 8-10% in 2 days. The other things are up like 30-40%. We told our peeps about the Bitcoin. The secondary stocks were the place to be. So just letting you know, this is strength. We don't know where it stops. We don't know when it stops. We just know it's on its way. And we'll give you a heads up when we think it's done. That's all. What started this latest off, leave no doubt, was at the beginning of January. The NASDAQ was coming in. And then January 8th, that was the day. Before January 8th, I was out of tech. The week before, I'm on TV saying I sold down my tech and we had made some bones. January 8th, we entered NVIDIA. We told you about it. And then one after the other. We said to you, NVIDIA is arguably the most important stock in tech. It has led the way. But SMCI, more than twice as strong as NVIDIA. Why? Higher beta, less shares outstanding, much smaller company. And now, we'll see where it goes. That's all we can tell you. And yes, it can go farther. And it can go more than anybody would believe. By the way, on a day today where another JP Morgan person came out and said, oh, we're about to crap out. I love people that predict. As you know, nothing personal. Nothing personal at all. JP Morgan warned stocks will fall 20 to 30% from a 2024 peak. That was their quote. Are we going to peak at 6,000 S&P? We just went over 5,000. Don't know. But that's just predicting. We don't need them. Why? Because we have thousands of hours of study of bull and bear markets, tops and bottoms, and if the market decides to top next week, it'll give us some clues. And topping does not happen in a moment. It happens over time. And I can promise you today, even with the Dow down 54, no sign of a top. And now we have some more earnings to come out, and we're going to have new names. I can tell you, we don't own ARM Holdings yet. ARM. We can tell you we will own it. We almost took a stab today. It hit 126 yesterday, hit 103 this morning, and what did they do as usual in the morning? It went from 103 to 110 in the first 10 minutes. So I said, screw it. Finished at 115. And we're hoping it builds a sideways pennant to buy off of. We think it's going much higher. That's a guess. But it's based on how strong a move it is out of the box. And based on it was just a recent IPO in September. That means institutions have a ways to go to own what they want to own. We'll let you know if that changes. And I must tell you, the move reminds me of Facebook. One of my best trades was back in 2013. Facebook came public. And the stock acted like crap out of the get-go. And then they announced earnings. And that day, the stock had a monstrous gap to the upside. I remember it well. And I remember it was week I was in Chicago. We bought it, went up 40% before you can blink. And that's what we tend to look for. Big, gargantuan surprises in the market. Facebook. The date was July 25th to 13. And by the way, that day traded 365 million shares when average daily volume wasn't even close. The stock closed at 26.5, opened up like at 34, and it was game on. We're hoping ARM Holdings is the same. Boy, would that be sweet, and we'll be ready. ARM Holdings volume yesterday. Let me get my little 106 million shares. Average daily volume's 9 million, and that's inclusive of yesterday putting in the average. That is not Aunt Mary and Uncle Bob hopping on. And rhyme and a reason. What's a strong group right now? The semiconductors. So that's a little bit of this and a little bit of that on the markets for you. May I also say that Stanley Druckenmiller, one of the top 5 people I respect and listen to, says he doesn't know for sure, but we can be in the early innings of AI. I hope he's right. Boy, would that be great. Lives can be changed. We'll take it day by day. Up next, this, that, and the other thing, and whatever else. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
You're listening to
What are we waiting for? Well, what are you waiting for?
1, 2, ready, go.
Action!
Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum.
So our Super Bowl record, our Super Bowl record with you guys, I think it's about since the year 2020 and 4, something like that, something to that effect. I think we've lost 4 Super Bowls. I must tell you, we won both Giants Super Bowls. We didn't like the Giants. We played with our heart those 2 games. We just like San Fran. It's a tough game to handicap. It really is. The reason is normally you say, who's the better quarterback? But also this Purdy guy is a great game manager. And I'm thinking Christian McCaffrey is that game changer on offense, and Deebo Samuel, the wide receiver for San Fran. Now, the other thing San Fran has done, they have tightened the field up. Instead of having their peeps across wide field, they've tightened it up. We'll see. We like San Fran. We don't love San Fran because of KC is a pretty well-coached team. And I think they really, how do I put this? They also tightened up their offense in the last month, and it's shown better. We're just going to go with San Fran minus the points. I think it's 2.5, and may the best team win. We don't love, we like. The over-under's 47 and change, I have no feel. I would think over, but you never know how these games play out. They're very tough. Very tough. And that's our Super Bowl crap for this weekend. And as usual, I'm sitting home. I can't go to parties. The last party I went to, they wouldn't shut up. And you want to listen to the game. Everybody's yelling and screaming and yapping and this and that. I'm going to hang with Winston. In the news, well, we did a little bit of the news and Biden and stuff like that. And we just took politics out of it a little bit. And as we told you straight up, that we take them or leave them. We don't think Kamala had. We don't believe Val Demings should have been the vice president, and we know she was one of the choices. We think Kamala Harris is a lightweight. A lightweight. Val Demings from Central Florida, magnificent family. Her husband, Jerry Demings, who's now the mayor of Orange County, used to be the sheriff. She used to be chief of police. Magnificent, wonderful people. She should have been vice president. Anyway, it's going to be one hell of the rest of the year. That's all I can tell you. And boy, oh boy, please have debates. We were asked about Vladimir Putin. What do you have, a 2-hour interview? Go screw yourself, pal. You're a murderer. You're a thug. You're the worst of all. And I couldn't give a crap what he has to say and wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. Case closed. In the news, well, we've been covering a little bit of San Fran and Oakland, and we've been yelling and screaming about how can any leader of any city have a moronic law that if you shoplift $949, we're going to leave you alone, but $950 we're going to charge you. What schmucks? People are going into stores with calculators and adding up, ooh, 948, good, I'm done. And then leave, and then come back and do another 948. Well, the moron mayor, the Democrat mayor of San Fran, has now endorsed a Republican effort to reform that law that made it easier for criminals to get away with shoplifting and drug crimes. I believe the mayor's name is London Breed, and now all of a sudden, we're idiots. So they're trying to reform, it's called Proposition 47. I call it Proposition You're a Bunch of Jackasses. They passed it years ago, made nonviolent property crimes and simple drug possession misdemeanors. Yeah, right. Schmucks. Anyway, just letting you know, they finally saw God based on they want to be reelected. We'll see how that plays out. We'll report to you. And I must tell you, in the last 2, 3, 4 years, the other illogical stupidity from people that have been elected in some of these cities, you try to give the benefit of doubt to people electing those people, but you just want to shake them. What the hell are you thinking? They did it in Chicago. They got rid of a terrible mayor and brought in a worse one that says, we'll stop crime with reparations. Yeah, let's give criminals other taxpayers dollars, and that'll stop them. Reward criminals with money. This is the mayor of Chicago. That's his great remedy to all the crime in Chicago. And by the way, the people elected him. And they elected him versus somebody who was strong on crime. But who cares about crime? So just anyway, why do we cover these individual cities? Because it's spreading. And we don't want one of these morons running for president like Gavin Newsom, who will be running in 28, and if Biden bows out, will be the chalk in 24, who's destroying California, disrespects Californians, and is lucky to have those people. So we'll keep covering it because we care. We want logic. We want to get back to we the people. We want the people running this country recognizing they work for us, not the other way around. But that's not how it is anymore. We work for them. We're their slush funds. We're their means to the ends. And they're only nice come election time. And they run for re-election the day after being elected. And it's tiresome. We're going to need better people, or else. We talked about the debt bomb yesterday. Paul Tudor Jones echoing our words. We don't know when, and we hope we're wrong, but it's out there. You all have a great Super Bowl weekend. Hey, if you're rooting for KC or San Francisco, good luck to you. I'm a Giants fan. Drive carefully, and when you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Thanks for always joining us. Thanks for trusting us. And we're waiting for the wimp to email us. Peace out, all. Bye-bye.
This has been Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum on BizTalk. To listen to past episodes or to get in contact with Gary, go to GaryK.com. That's GaryK.com.